Are you tired of your job? Do you want to quit? Do you want to drag up? Well, we got some advice for you that might just save your integrity. So Keegan, how would you get off of a job?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons that you would want to leave a job, but if you're leaving a job for like a family issue, or if you've got a better opportunity down the road that would benefit you and your family, the best way to go about that is, well, first off, in the very beginning, you need to be a solid employee, one who always shows up, is a good worker, welds hard, all the above. Now, there's a whole lot of, I guess, gray area with leaving a job, but if the stars align, the best way to do it is just talk to your superintendent or foreman. Don't jump a rank. So go straight to your foreman, let them know, hey, I've got a better opportunity, or hey, something's happening back at the house, because they understand it's the construction industry and the turnaround industry. They know things happen, better jobs pop up, and that you have to go sometimes. So the best way to do that is just let them know that you got something going on, and depending on how you have been in the whole job is, there's a way they're going to react to it.
Yeah, so sometimes life happens. It may be an emergency, a sickness or a health issue or something with a family member, and you have no choice but to be gone tomorrow. If you've been a solid employee, then hopefully they'll give you the chance to come back. But other times you may know ahead of time. So you're at a job and maybe that job got prolonged, but you already obligated yourself. 2 weeks, is that a fair amount?
Yeah, 2 weeks is a fair amount. If you know ahead, let them know for sure, hey, I got something going on, I'm gonna have to leave in 2 weeks. And that'll give them enough time to get another welder in and replace whatever you're leaving behind.
All right. Now, anytime that you're gonna leave that job, obviously that foreman or that contractor can say, well, don't let the door hit you on the way out and take it the wrong way. So sometimes that could happen.
Yeah.
But if you put in that notice, or if you let them know in advance, it's going to help you in the long run.
Right, and I've had to leave jobs before, and at first they're a little bit butthurt, but they'll call you or text you and say, hey man, appreciate you, just let us know when you want to come back to work, and they're totally cool with it. Now, I've seen a lot of guys that drag up, and that company, as soon as they leave, they'll blackball them.
All right.
So don't ever drag up and leave a bad taste in a company's mouth, because you may not be able to ever work for them again.
One thing I've seen a lot of young welders do, their buddy will call them up and say, hey, you need to come and work over here with me. We're making $2 or $3 more on the hour and $20 more on the day per diem. And then they don't even think about it. They're just jumping the truck and peel out of there, not realizing that, okay, there's weld tests that I got to do, there's employment paperwork that I got to do, and sometimes they're not even qualified.
Right.
So it's never a good idea to just jump ship to another company, because now you go from making some dollars to making $0 in a lot of cases.
Right, and that's the thing with a lot of younger welders starting out. You need to be able to know what you're going to be getting into if you leave that job, and it's better to, keep that network, running with that company.
Yeah, keep it growing.
Yeah, keep it growing. So sometimes it's always safer and better to just stay with that company, make a little bit less money for a couple more weeks, wait till that job's done, and then go. Don't drag up on them the last 2 weeks of the job, try not to,
Yeah. Now, what about the safety factor? You mentioned, safer to do that money-wise, financially wise, but what about the safety factor? Have you ever been on a job that was just ran poorly and you wanted to get away from there before you got hurt?
I haven't had that exact experience, but I know a couple buddies, they've been on some construction sites and some companies that were doing some really unsafe stuff. So, in those instances, I would look at getting out of there, because if your life's in danger, then that's the most important thing, is taking care of yourself. So if it gets pretty crazy, I would look at leaving that facility or that company, because your life's not worth that job. So
yeah, and if you don't like that job, it's never good to just sort of badmouth the company and make up a story, because then you never know. Someone may have a relative there, or maybe they're getting ready to go to work there. So if you don't like a job, give a notice.
Right. Right.
If the job is legitimately unsafe, then think about moving, but there's no reason to make up stories and say it was unsafe when it actually wasn't.
Right, and actually the welding industry is super small. So once you start making up stuff and dragging, and then the word gets around, like this superintendent knows this welder knows this superintendent, and it just goes back and forth, then your name gets caught in the middle of it when they know that you're the one screwing everybody over.
Yeah, it's like going to a restaurant. You go to a restaurant and get a bad steak, you're gonna tell everybody not to go back to that restaurant. Same thing with a welder. A welder comes in and he does a lackluster job and he leaves early and he goes out the door, then he's left a bad taste in that company's mouth, and they're not gonna hire him back. And you never know, it could be some of those same folks on the next job for the next company to go to.
Exactly. So this advice is really important for those welders starting out. Just, watch how you are on the jobs, and then if you have to leave, if you've, been a good employee, it'll work out for you in the end. But if not, you'll probably get blackballed down the road. So hopefully this advice has helped some of you guys out. If you want some more content, check out our YouTube. Also, check the link in our website for a virtual tour so you can look at the school. Until next time.